"You mean the tournament in Ventura?" said Tully. "No," said Coach Boyd. "So we're not going to Ventura?" said Tully. "We are going to Ventura, but that's not the kind of journey I'm talking about. Just listen for a second." "Do you mean a spiritual journey?" said Tully. "Yeah, but if you say it like that, it sounds stupid." "Since we play zone," said Tully, "maybe our motto should be play the zone." "Do you want to run?" said Coach Boyd. "Because we can run all day." "Polycarp was schizophrenic," said Tully. "All the saints were." "Baseline," said Coach Boyd, and we spent the next hour running suicides. For extra money, my dad used to ref summer league games. As a result, I was lucky enough to grow up in gyms all over Southern California. At halftime, I'd run down to the court with a ball, showing off my handle, my range. Even then, I was a vain little shit. I imagined the bleachers full of college scouts, but the bleachers were usually empty. Summer league was a languid affair. Players yawned in the layup lines as their coaches sipped big gulps. In 1983, when I was 7, my dad worked a tournament in Cal State Dominguez Hills. The first game of the afternoon featured Crenshaw High, the LA City League powerhouse. They had John Williams, the John Williams, 17 and already a legend. He walked in the gym and instead of warming up, he took a nap on the bleachers. I could hear him snoring. My dad blew the whistle for tip-off, and one of his teammates woke him up. He walked to center court, still rubbing sleep from his eyes. Early on, he got the ball on the right wing, drifted lazily to the baseline, then spun back, hard into traffic, splitting 2 defenders, and though he could have dunked, he chose with impeccable taste to finish with a reverse layup. The beatific vision. You catch a glimpse and spend your whole life chasing it. At my next YMCA game, I tried to skip warm-ups and take a nap, but my dad yanked me up and threw me back among the mortals. When I got older, he used to drive me around Long Beach looking for pickup games. If he drove by a park and didn't see a sufficient number of black guys who'd kick my ass, he'd keep going. His strategy almost paid off, because in 8th grade, after playing well in an AAU tournament, I was approached by a shadowy recruiter from Trinity, a friend of the school, he called himself, who said I would be a nice addition to the basketball program. My parents, wanting to vouchsafe my future, agreed to take on the higher tuition and longer commute. When I got to Trinity, the coaches described me as heady and deceptively quick, both of which meant I was white. Apparently, I was using my superior Western European intellect to cross over fools and get to the basket. Somehow, this didn't transfer to the classroom. In 9th grade, I flunked algebra. A counselor suggested I might have a tragic condition called math anxiety. My brain was average, and so was my body. The coaches who liked my game kept asking when I was going to fill out. I was 6 foot and scrawny, with a weird concave chest that was a major source of shame. After playing JV my sophomore year, starting about half our games, I expected to move up. But several transfers arrived from exotic places like Westchester and Fontana, and they were all seriously filled out. One kid was featured in a Sports Illustrated article as the best 15-year-old in the nation. At some point, Ted Washburn, the varsity head coach, called me into his office. He was a big man with jowls, and in his Nike tracksuit he exuded the portly air of a Renaissance king. After zero small talk, he advised me to transfer so I could get some playing time. I vowed to fight for my place. "I like you, Pat," he said, "but you don't have a place here." Coach Boyd finally told us to get water. As we drank from the porcelain fountain, sucking its leaden bounty, he conferred privately with Tully and then called us back to center circle. "I don't want to be an asshole."